President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received a phone call from the Kenyan counterpart William Ruto, where they discussed the bilateral ties and means of boosting mutual cooperation between the two countries in all domains. The two African leaders also tackled the active role played by the two countries on the African arena. Presidential spokesman, Councillor Ahmed Fahmy, said that the phone call tackled a number of African files, including means of confronting the current challenges facing the continent. They stressed the importance of joint cooperation among the African countries in order to support the efforts of achieving stability, security and development for all the peoples of Africa. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi offered his sincere condolences to the victims of the shooting incident in Wadi al-Kabir neighborhood in Muscat, praying to God to bless the deceased souls, wishing patience and solace to their families and the speedy recovery for the injured. This came as the President held a phone call with Oman's Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, expressing the Egyptian condemnation of the terrorist incident and full solidarity with the Sultanate of Oman in the face of terrorism and extremism. For his part, Sultan bin Tariq appreciated the Egyptian positions in support of the Sultanate, stressing the depth and the strength of the historical and the fraternal bilateral relations and his country's keenness on continuing consolidating the distinguished bilateral cooperation on all fronts. Minister of Interior General Mahmoud Tawfiq approved the acceptance of a new batch of students who want to join the police academy who are graduated from the different schools and colleges. All the applications and results will be available on the website of the ministry. The student will go through a number of medical, cultural, physical and sports examinations to select the best calibers to join the academy, as they will shoulder the responsibility of maintaining Egypt's internal security. Minister of Defense Lieutenant General Abdel Majid Sakr sent a congratulatory cable to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on the occasion of the 23rd of July Revolution's 72nd anniversary. In his cable, the Defense Minister wished the nation more welfare and prosperity under the leadership of President al-Sisi. Sakr asserted that the men of the armed forces are committed to protecting the nation. Armed Forces Chief of Staff General Ahmed Khalifa also sent a similar congratulatory cable to President al-Sisi. Also on Saturday, Minister of Interior Major General Mahmoud Tawfiq sent a congratulatory cable on the occasion. In this cable, Tawfiq hailed the efforts exerted by the men of the armed forces to protect their homeland with their sacrifices. On behalf of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli arrived in Ghana's capital, Accra, to take part in the 6th mid-year coordination meeting of the African Union. Egypt is now chairing the new partnership for the African Development Agency, the NEPAD. Madbouli is expected to hold a string of bilateral meetings with a number of top African officials on the sidelines of the African Union meeting. The Prime Minister will also tackle fundamental files related to development of the efforts aimed at boosting economic integration among the countries of the African Union. On the sidelines of the 6th mid-year coordination meeting of the African Union in Ghana's capital, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Immigration and the Egyptian expatriates, Badr Abdel Ati, held a number of meetings with several African counterparts and African Union top officials. Here are the details.
Minister of Foreign Affairs, Immigration and Egyptian expatriates Badr Abdel Ati lauded distinguished relations between Egypt and Sierra Leone as the two countries mark the 63rd anniversary of establishing diplomatic ties and share identical views on several issues of common concern. Abdel Ati made his remarks during his meeting with the Sierra Leonean Foreign Minister Timothy Musikaba on the sidelines of the 6th mid-year coordination meeting of the African Union in Ghana's capital. Foreign Ministry official spokesperson Ambassador Ahmed Abu Zaid said the Foreign Minister said that Egypt looks forward to fostering ties with Sierra Leone in various fields of common interest, notably health, tourism, mining, agriculture and food security. Also in Accra, the foreign minister met with Teresa Kikwamba Wagner, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Democratic Republic of Congo. During the meeting, Abdelati expressed his aspiration for achieving more bilateral coordination, stressing Egypt's will to support Congo in its efforts to combat terrorism. As for his talks with his Tanzanian counterpart, General Yusuf Makamba, Foreign Minister Abdelati hailed the leap witnessed in the last few years in Egyptian-Tanzanian relations, embodied in exchanging high-ranking visits and signing memoranda of understanding in various fields. Abdelati also highlighted Cairo's keenness to boost the presence of Egyptian companies in Tanzania by holding vital mega-projects topping the list, Julius Nyerere Dam, which is considered as a role model of African strategic cooperation. For his part, Makamba vowed that his country will resume offering all facilities to Egyptian companies and investors and hailed the brotherly ties that bind the two nations. In his meeting with EU Commissioner Musa Faqih Mohammed, Foreign Minister Abdelati stressed Egypt's keenness to be involved in all serious efforts aiming to face all complicated African challenges, namely to restore peace and achieve sustainable development goals. Abdelati and Faqih discussed enhancing cooperation between Egypt and the African Commission and exchanged views regarding African files of common interest. They also discussed the situations in Sudan, South Sudan, Somalia and Libya, as both agreed on the necessity to unify all efforts to end all crises peacefully and meet the aspirations of the African peoples. In continuation of his string of meetings, Abdelati met with his Mauritanian counterpart Mohammed Salim Wald Marzouk. The two ministers followed up the path of the Egyptian-Mauritanian Joint Committee as they agreed to hold it before the end of the year. Moreover, Abdelati expressed Egypt's appreciation to the wise leadership of Mauritania to the African Union and their distinguished management of several African files. Abdelati and Wal Marzouk also tackled ways of boosting bilateral cooperation, especially in the field of energy in light of the latest oil and gas discoveries in Mauritania and Egypt's experience in this vital sector.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a statement that Egypt welcomed an advisory opinion issued by the International Court of Justice on the legal consequences of the Israeli policies and the brutal practices in the occupied Palestinian territories, including East Jerusalem. Issued in response to a 2022 UN General Assembly request, the ICJ's opinion deems the continued Israeli occupation as a violation of the Palestinian people's right to self-determination and the breach of the inadmissibility of the acquisition of territory by force. The landmark opinion urges Israel to swiftly end the occupation, halt the new settlement, and remove existing settlements in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. A Foreign Ministry statement said that Egypt further welcomes the ICJ's call in all states and international organizations, including the UN, to refuse recognition of the Israeli occupation's legal standing. Egypt reiterated its commitment to supporting Palestinian rights, including an independent state on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital, advocating for a just and lasting peace based on the two-state solution. Earlier